Hey everybody, welcome to Around the Twist, episode 241. It is March 23rd, 2016, and we are kind of in the middle of a blizzard here in Colorado, which is this huge long line of storms that's stretching pretty much all the way across the country, so that's kind of fun. Basically got a snow day off from everything we were planning on doing, which honestly wasn't a whole lot, but the little bit that we did have planned is out the window, so we're just hunkering down here at home. So, what I have on my needles, very few things, because of why we'll get to later. First thing is my special snowflake socks. These are 72 stitch vanilla socks out of some Gail's art. Her special secret sock blank in special snowflake, which was one of her club colorways, which means it won't be available to anyone. I don't believe she's ever planning on dyeing the club sock blank colorways again. There's the blank. It was a whole bunch of pretty snowflakes in blues and pinks and purples. This is what I have left, a little over a foot. The first sock's been done for quite some time. I'm knitting it up on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle. So first sock. Second sock I actually made quite a bit of progress. I was kind of surprised at myself. I had been still working on the heel flap last week. I managed to, hang on, let me rearrange needle here. I had been working on the heel flap. I finished the heel flap, did the heel turn, finished the gusset, and I'm about 1.5 inches down the foot past the gusset. 2 inches? 2 inches. So it's coming along, slowly, but it is coming along. I don't know why the heel and the heel flap always hold me up on socks. I don't know why. They just do, but this has been seeing a lot of knitting the last couple days while I've been home with the kids in potty training purgatory. And while they're sitting, I'm knitting. It works a little bit. It's something I'm able to pick up and put down pretty easily. So I think that's why I've made some progress. And this is living in my Girl Cave bag, which my mom got me from one of the Zombie Knitpocalypse retreats. Girlcavebags.etsy.com. I really love this bag. It's actually really well constructed. I'm very happy with it. The second thing I have on my needles on the hook is actually off, so I remember to grab my snowflakes that I couldn't show you last week. Snowflakes number 5. Now these are my huge future Christmas planning project that I'm doing. This is out of the 99 Snowflakes book that's put out by Leisure Arts. Like I've said before, it is available on Amazon. So these scraggly, sad little pathetic bits of lace, when I block them, will look like that. It's amazing what some starch and pinning can do. So number 5 was done last week, that set. I only had the first one done of snowflake number 6. Well, those are finished as well. There they are. These look a little more like how they're going to look, just not quite as pointy. So there's number 6 right down there. And both these patterns were designed by Helen Milinkovich-Milton. Like I've said before, I'm really enjoying her patterns. Everything's very clearly written. I'm just going to keep going. I realize I've done I think 4 snowflakes in the month of March, and I might be able to get more done. Here I thought this was going to be some huge epic project, and I was going to be forcing myself to try to get at least one set done per month, which was my original goal. I think that, along with recording every week, are my only 2 New Year's goals that I'm still keeping up with. I'll have to look back and see, but I'm pretty sure those are my 2 that I've kept up with. So I now have 6 of the 99 snowflakes completed. So maybe this project won't take me years and years and years and years to get done. It can, obviously, since I own the book, but yeah. I'm making those up using some knit crocheting mercerized cotton in the ecru colorway, and I've got this old steel crochet hook that I think I absconded with from my mom. It's a size 7, which is like a 1.65 millimeter hook, and yeah, it's working. I'm liking it. Obviously, the winding around the sides is not from me ripping. That would be from little Missy Tara getting a hold of the ball of cotton because I foolishly left it out on the counter and thought that I could take 30 seconds to go to the bathroom by myself. Oh no. Come on, she's like wrapped in it like a little spider web and looking at me like, what? I didn't do anything. I love you. And yeah. That's everything that I'm currently working on. I do have one FO, which is my FO of the week. It is the Way It shawl, Way It number 4. It's massive. It's huge. It's huge. This is the Yowza Way It Shawl 4, which is by Susan B. Anderson. It is the Miss Babs Yowza What a Skein in the Zombie Honeymoon colorway. Which is one of her Babettes, which is, they just put up an explanation on their blog and on their Facebook page. Oh, I can't remember what the name of the other one was. Obviously they have their semi-solids that are constant. The Babettes are a non-repeating, repeatable colorway, I think is how they describe them. So basically, I can purchase a skein of Zombie Knitpocalypse, or Zombie Honeymoon, and someone else could come along right behind me, purchase the same color in the same day, and it might have come from a different dye batch. It might be someone else in the shop putting it on, and you won't have nearly as much pink or nearly as much purple in your skein, and you'll have a ton more of another colorway. Daisy, Munchkin, come on. Really? Come say hi. The squeaky toys must be killed. They must be killed. It's currently a coon that she's trying to kill. Okay, can you stop? Please. Go get Daddy. So, where was I? Oh, the Way It shawl, yes. Like this one, I like the knitting of this one. However, I still don't think it's probably my favorite of the Way It shawls. Mainly for this reason. The first two that I also knit on a US 8, a 5.0 millimeter needle, which is what the pattern calls for. And they say gauge, Susan says gauge really isn't super important. I ended up with only like 6 or 7 grams left on the first couple. The third one had a bit more. This one, this is like a baseball sized ball of yarn. I weighed it before I came out here, 45 grams left. Now I stopped 2 grams shy of where I needed to. I don't want to give away the secret sauce of the pattern, but still 2 grams. If I would have kept going, probably could have done an inch more, half an inch more of the main body before I started the edging. The edging did not eat up nearly the amount of yarn that the first 3 did. So, vaguely disappointed, vaguely. Not awful enough that I'll never knit this shawl again, but vaguely disappointed that I ended up with that much yarn. So, started this on January 9th, finished it March 19th. It is washed, blocked, ends woven in, done. So, it has that lovely applied garter edging, which if you don't like doing an applied edging, she does give you an option to not. Which side's the wrong side? I don't even remember which side's the wrong side. I think it's supposed to go that way. Yes. So, it's done. It's finished. I have another scarf. Pokey things. Moving on. Let me grab some coffee. I haven't had any coffee yet. Gosh. No, I mean, like, since I started recording, not today. That would just be complete insanity. Yes, I've had a cup today. Oh, and it's Mango Island today. So, pokey things. I did do some progress on both my projects. Very Merry Christmas Town by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I know it's kind of, the toy store's kind of squinched with the hoop in place. But over here at the Christmas Tree Farm, I actually got quite a bit done. I finished all the light bits, the ears, like the throat, chest, and under the tail on both reindeer. I got the nose, the eye, nose, and the top part of the blanket. There's some more of the metallic gold that runs at the bottom. Done on the left-hand reindeer. I finished, obviously, the elf's entire body, and the nose on the right-hand reindeer. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but oh, and I also discovered I left 2 stitches off of the left-hand Christmas tree. So kind of, let's see, just to the left of the candy cane, right of the candy cane arch, right there. There should be one right underneath the door and one right above the reindeer's head. 2 stitches. Two! I don't know how I missed them, but I did. Or not the blank, that little blank that's further up on the door. That should be a green blob. And then right below the door. Yeah. So I'll have to go back and add those in, which I've got plenty of the thread. It's the hand-dyed thread for that tree, so I have plenty. It just ticks me off that I missed 2 little stitches that I could have gotten done. So that's Very Merry Christmas Town. It's coming along. Once the Christmas tree farm is finished, then there's a border that goes all along the whole bottom that has a bunch of stuff in it that I guess will be next. This has been pretty solid stitching. I mean, like, just solid stitches and kind of covering the background. So I guess we'll have to see how that bottom bit looks with it. I know some people, when you follow Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery on Instagram and Facebook and all of those, they'll post examples that people have posted, or Facebook people will post their own examples and their own projects in the group. And that one, a couple people left that entire bottom banner off. Like, they liked it just with the 3 buildings, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that banner. So, yeah, we'll see. The other one is the Once Upon a Time sampler. I actually got quite a bit done on July. So I finished the lighter green at the middle of the lily pad. I did, let's see, the ripples, the little white bits are on the outside of the pond. The light green, or the darker green, excuse me, that's the grass and the cattail stalks. And then I also did the whole walnut shell minus all of that insane back stitching. There is an abominable amount of back stitching in and around and through that walnut shell. In fact, I normally stitch off the colorized chart for this, just so I'm not just mixing up symbols when I'm flipping back and forth between pages. But for the back stitching on that walnut shell, I couldn't even see where to go. So I'm actually I went over to the black and white chart that just has the symbols and they're not colored in, and I can see where the back stitching is supposed to be. So it's not only separating out, it's around the outside of the whole walnut shell. I know it's to define it, but I'm going, oh my gosh, that's an insane amount of back stitching. And I don't know, I'll do it because it calls for it, but I'm not gonna like it. Back stitching is not my favorite thing to do, but that's okay. So that's everything I've got. Upcoming events, moving on to various and sundry. Upcoming events, I've got the Interweave Yarn Fest that's coming March 31st to April 3rd. I won't be going Thursday or Friday because those are work days for me, so if you're going to be on the lookout for me Saturday and Sunday. And then the Estes Park Wool Market, June 9th through the 12th up in Estes Park, Colorado. Again, I won't be doing classes because I have to work, but I will be there, I think Saturday for sure, and maybe Sunday. We might take it as a family trip, so the twins will be along with us, and we'll see how it goes, but I'll definitely be going up Saturday. And then I wanted to do a couple of your guys' questions, from any questions. So Caroline Spin Knit, what are your thoughts on spinning wheels? Which ones do you still have and what do you like, dislike about them? And then she gives a little backstory of herself. So my thoughts on spinning wheels and which ones do I still have and what do I like, dislike about them? I still have 2 spinning wheels, which I haven't spun on for months. I really need to get back to that. I have my double treadle Lendrum that has my woolly winder on it. And I have the Spinolution B, which is the original. It's not, I haven't upgraded it to the Queen Bee. I know I can send that back in, but I like it the way it is. So I like the Lendrum. The Lendrum was my first wheel, and I didn't do it the way you're supposed to. I didn't go try a bunch of wheels. I just I liked the look of it, so I ordered it, and it was within my price range. And it's kind of grown with me with getting the woolly winder, because I enjoy the woolly winder for the fact that I don't have to stop. So I mainly use my Lendrum as my plying wheel and do my spinning on the bee. And it's a very the bee has a very different motion. The Lendrum, the treadles are traditional and go this way, so you're pushing down. The bee, the treadles are almost, how can I say this? They're almost in like a U shape, a very shallow U, and it rocks back and forth. So it's a different motion. It works different muscles in your legs. I couldn't understand why after my first big session of spinning on the bee, my legs and ankles ached so much. Well, it's a different motion. You're pushing with the outside of your foot rather than down straight. But I like the bee for the number of ratios. I can spin everything from a bulky down to a lace weight single if I want to. It's got a huge range on it. The Lendrum, not so much. I'd have to get a bulky flyer and a lace flyer if I wanted to have that same kind of range, and it would entail switching out bits on the Lendrum when I wanted to switch to those different flyers. So yeah, I prefer the Spinolution for the majority of my spinning because it's easier to switch ratios, but I like them both for different reasons, and they both work for me. My best advice, don't do what I did. Don't just randomly buy a spinning wheel and hope that it works for you just because everybody else has one. Get to a shop that has spinning wheels available to you if you can, or to a spinning guild in your area that hopefully will let you either rent or try out different brands of wheels and see what you like. That's my best advice for you. I hope that helps. And then I'm going to do one more. Puckhead Knits. Karen from back in Omaha, she was part of the big group at Whole Foods that I went and knit with on Wednesdays occasionally. Some have sort of assumed you learned to knit from your mother. At what age did you begin knitting? How did your mother learn to knit? So I did learn from my mom, and I started when I was 20. It'll actually be, I started in April of 2001, so April will be 15 years that I've been knitting. And I basically came home for spring break, and I don't know what possessed me. I don't know why, but I just remember going in the house and looking at my mom and saying, I want you to teach me to knit. And she looked at me like I'd grown a second head and said, you want me to teach you to what? To knit. Okay, so she went down, pulled out some old mustard yellow Germantown yarn that she had left over from when she ran a yarn shop out of our house when I was growing up, and some old metal straight needles, and taught me this old slipper pattern. And I don't have those slippers any longer. When I got Phoebe 5-6 years later, I gave them to her to destroy because in all honesty they were pretty butt ugly. They had a lot of mistakes. And I'd grown a bit as a knitter, and I didn't want them around anymore. So they became puppy chew toys, and she did a great job of destroying them. So that's kind of when I started knitting. I've been crafting for much longer, but just kind of dabbling. How did my mom learn to knit? I'm trying to think. I know Mom's told me this story. I know it was when she was in college as well. And like, I know my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, I know she knit for the soldiers during World War II for the Red Cross. I actually have a little enamel pin that she was kind of awarded for knitting. I think it was 1,000 hours or 10,000 hours. I can't remember how many hours. A certain huge number of hours of knitting for soldiers. So it kind of runs in the family. But I'm pretty sure my mom didn't learn from my grandma. If I remember right, my mom wanted a sweater, a specific sweater knit in college, and grandma told her, you know what, you can learn how to do that yourself. I'm going to send you to this lady to teach you. If I remember right. Mom, correct me if I'm wrong on the boards. Feel free to chime in and tell your story. But yeah, so 15 years knitting almost, and I don't see any sign of it stopping anytime soon, which is good because I've got a big stash of yarn down in the basement. And I think that's going to be it, just so I'm not going on too long. So everyone, until next week, where hopefully I'll have some new projects to show you. Happy knitting.